Hi, the future of sound engineering is here. On the 21st of April, the brightest mind in sound engineering in Nigeria, technical directors, sound engineers, rental leaders, venue owners are going to be gathered at Soundcheck Park, Bagada, for a live transforming event. It is not just an event, it's a community of the brightest mind in the sound engineering industry in Nigeria. It will be a room where standards are raised, ideas are exchanged, and real conversations about sound, systems, and how to scale it happen. Experience CVR sound systems being used live. Gain practical insight on how to use the products, and then connect with those that are operating these systems at the highest level. If you are serious about where sound is going next, you need to be in that room. Attendance is free. Access is limited. Secure your spot now. Hi, the future of sound engineering is here. On the 21st of April, the brightest mind in sound engineering in Nigeria, technical directors, sound engineers, rental leaders, venue owners are going to be gathered at Soundcheck Park, Bagada, for a live transforming event. It is not just an event, it's a community of the brightest mind in the sound engineering industry in Nigeria. It will be a room where standards are raised, ideas are exchanged, and real conversations about sound, systems, and how to scale it happen. Experience CVR sound systems being used live. Gain practical insight on how to use the products, and then connect with those that are operating these systems at the highest level. If you are serious about where sound is going next, you need to be in that room. Attendance is free. Access is limited. Secure your spot now. Hi, the future of sound engineering is here. On the 21st of April, the brightest mind in sound engineering in Nigeria, technical directors, sound engineers, rental leaders, venue owners are going to be gathered at Soundcheck Park, Bagada, for a live transforming event. It is not just an event, it's a community of the brightest mind in the sound engineering industry in Nigeria. It will be a room where standards are raised, ideas are exchanged, and real conversations about sound, systems, and how to scale it happen. Experience CVR sound systems being used live. Gain practical insight on how to use the products, and then connect with those that are operating these systems at the highest level. If you are serious about where sound is going next, you need to be in that room. Attendance is free. Access is limited. Secure your spot now.
Good afternoon everyone. Good afternoon from Nigeria and other countries, because I know that some other countries are equally joining us, like Canada, UK, US. So we really appreciate you joining us, and we can't thank you enough. Thank you for the previous episodes that you have been with us. We can't thank you enough too, and we thank you for today too again for joining us. What are we talking about? My name's still Debby. Soundcheck with Debby. Okay, today we are taking something fresh, something not really audio, but we can see many of our colleagues, they transition, how they move from audio engineering into visuals, and it is so seamless for them to join. And some still have both knowledge. I recently saw, I think last year, a senior colleague had to go for a class, went for a degree or something like a professional course on visual, and he said, as long as we're talking about tech, you need to know things about audio visual. So that is why I thought about it, like, okay, I now discuss with somebody too that is saying that is also willing to go into visuals to aside that. And many event companies, you can see it, many audio guys are also buying LED screens. How should they not be unfortunate? Yoruba say it in another way. Some of them are very unfortunate because of they are going into business that they do not understand. They are adding visuals, LED screens into the business that they really need to know much about. So that kind of made me to say, okay, how can I work this out? I have friends also in the visual world. And one of my long-standing friends, I remember the event that brought us together. We did Landmark when we did an exhibition for audiovisual exhibition, which I spearheaded the event at Landmark. That was like 2019 or so. I think 2019 we did one at Landmark, and they came around, though he was working with an organization then, but now he's on his own. And since that time we met, and we have not unmet since. He has always been one of my major buyers of audio gears, and we've been friends since then. Kindly meet Mr. Charles Neni Media Group. He has his he manufactures speakers now. Then I met him working with I think Sam Lee, but now he's on his own. He's a big oga. He manufactures, he has his own LED screens in Nigeria, and he's also a consultant. He has worked with very big organizations, not just worked with them. He played major roles in those organizations. Pleased to meet you, Mr. Charles. You can introduce yourself again to us. Let's do our audio clap the way we always do our audio clap. Please kindly give him our audio clap. Thank you. We are seeing more audio claps. Send your audio claps in. Thank you very much. So, Mr. Charles, introduce yourself to us again, because I did little about it.
Thank you.
Yes.
My name is Charles Osa-Iyamu. By training, I'm supposed to be a computer scientist, and today I'm an LED screen tech person. By God's grace, I am a creative director with Nene Media Technology, a company that I co-founded. And at the same time, I am the creative director right now for the company and a lead design engineer for Rubicon LED company, which is our product. So basically, I think those are the things I think I can say right now until I hear what next you want to know about me. Thank you.
Let's just go straight into why we are here today. LED screens. Can you just give us like a crash program about LED screens? Like, let's start from the basics of it, because we are audio guys. So take us like the dummy, how did they say it? The dummy aspect, the dummy learning of LED screens. So you have the floor for 30-40 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first thing first, LED screen is a big business. It's a big sector of the creative industry that I think we are to really tap into as of today. I remember in the year 2018, I was with a certain brand of LED screens. Then we were not very much in Nigeria but then. And then I was also very young then. So it's something that I think everybody can really dive into if we need to dive into it. Basically, for starters, if you are thinking of going into LED screen, you should be ready to be patient, especially the market you want to go into. But first of all, what is this LED we are talking about? The LED in the screen part is called the light emitting diode. That black board you see is made of different lights, different bulbs of light. They basically red, green, blue. So when you get those red, green, blue, it gives you any color and any design you want. So when you now have a processor connected to it, that's where the magic comes in. So first thing first is LED screen operates using self-emitted LEDs. In other words, each pixel produces its own light. So LED screen is a light source on its own. Unlike those days where you need to get a projector and then get a screen to enable use a projector, this is different. LED is a light source on its own. So like I said, getting into LED screen business It's not a big deal, but can be expensive. And at the same time, it is doable. It is not impossible, just expensive. For instance, the way I started my LED screen business, like I said, I was with a different company. And at a point, it was a Chinese-based company, China-based company. So we decided to do a Nigerian thing. I had a colleague then, Sam Lee, who were together, and we talked about, let's have a Nigerian thing. So that birthed a different company. And then I was working with them. So then I was like the lead in terms of technical. I was head of technical units for a while. But then we started to grow. And as human beings, we must grow, we must evolve. In course of evolving, I discovered that I can do more in LED screen on my own. So I started. I buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. I know the question that a lot of us will want to ask is, tell us, how did you do it? You know, when you ask someone, what's your success story? Say, well, I started from a small beginning. I buy, I sell, I buy and sell. No, but this is my practical works, how it works for me. When I buy, then we couldn't even stock LED screens in Nigeria because you have to collect deposits, send to China, and then they bring for you after like 90 days, because it has to come by sea, which is 3 months. Then what I did was, when I buy, both my profits and the capital, I send everything to China. I continue like that. So it got to a point where my profit I have sent to China can buy an entire 6 square meter. So when I was going to make my next order, I brought in my 6 square meter. And then I sold that 6 square meter, telling the client that, see, you don't have to wait for 3 months. I have screen here in Nigeria. All you need to do is pay me today and get it in the next 2 weeks. And that was how it started. Before you know, other people started diving into it. And then we have lots of screen in Nigeria, or lots of screen vendors in Nigeria. But there was a major thing that I looked out for. I looked out for the PCB. Some were very light, to the point that when they get hot, once they are warm, you see the bulbs start chipping off one after the other. And before you know, you start having black spots everywhere. This is not due to damage. This is due to the PCB that is being used, because it is light source and it is warm. It gets warm naturally when you're using it. So with that, we had to find a way to do something that will work for the Nigerian market. Moving forward, if you want to get into LED screen business, first thing you should ask for is, what pixel pitch works best for me? For instance, we have for me, I do from P1 to P6. Anything below that, I don't do. Anything higher than that, I don't do in terms of pixel. But mind you, the lower the pixel, the cleaner your image would be. So we have the pixel pitch, we have the P1, P1.6, P2, P2.6, P2.8, P3.0, P3.91, P4.0, P4.81. We have the P5 and P6 also. So the question is, if you want to go into LED screen business, who are your target audience? First question, after you've known what pixel pitch to buy. Because you must know that if you have a P6 LED screen and 90% of the people you are trying to market for requires a P3 screen, you will not be able to satisfy them. And at the same time, if you have a P3 screen and 90% of your clients requires a P2 screen, you also will not be able to satisfy them. So first thing is pixel pitch, technical aspect now. Once you know your pixel pitch, the next thing you need to check is the brightness. After you get your pixel pitch, you get your brightness.
What I want to say is that we don't know what P2, P3. Who are the P2 audience? Who are the P3 audience? Explain, because I know I'll be carrying you back so that you know that you're not talking to your people. Please explain to us, who are the P1 audience, the P2 audience, the P3 audience. That is what we want to know, sir. Emma.
Okay, let me run through these 3 things first. Pixel pitch, brightness, and lifespan. Those are the first 3 things you should look out for. Once you understand the pixel pitch, that will now make you know which pixel pitch works for which client. For instance, if you are the person that caters for corporate meetings, where they do lots of presentations, like maybe boardroom meeting, they needed to set up LED screen for them in the boardroom. You know that the first person sitting close to this screen is approximately about 5 meters. The very first person sitting to the screen is about 5 meters. Please start from the P2.6 downward. P2.6 is for board meetings, meeting rooms, places where people get to sit close to the screen. Because if you install anything more than that, once someone is about 5 meters away from a P4 screen, the person will not be able to read the text. The person will not be able to get a clear picture. So most time, you do P2.6 downward. P2.6, P2.0, P1.9, P1.6, P1. Those are for corporate rooms, board meetings, meeting rooms, closed group meetings that does not require people to sit far from the screen. Then, if you are dealing with churches, there is the P3 and the P4. That works best for churches. When I say P3, I mean from P3.0, P3.91, P4.0, and P4.81. Works clearly for churches. Why do I recommend that for churches? It's basically because most time the first person sitting close to the screen is about 10 meters away, one. And then number two, it displays both images and texts. Images and texts. So that's why I'm recommending, or I do recommend the P3.0 up to P4.81 for churches. Then if you are dealing with billboards, advertisement boards, advertisement like outdoor advertisements, whether big, close to you or not, but anything that has to do with someone that will view that screen. For instance, if you're setting up an advertisement board, the closest person cannot be 10 meters because the goal is to catch someone coming from as far as sometimes 50 meters away. So we do from P5.0 to P6 for billboards and advertisements. So even if it is indoor or outdoor, from P5 upward is good, especially, mind you, especially when you know that the closest person to the screen is going to be at least 10-15 meters away. 10-15 meters away. So those are the different categories I personally will recommend for those different set of people. The corporate people, which is the indoor meeting room, boardrooms, seminars, and co. You do from P2.6 downward for them. Then for churches, media houses, let me not use the word churches, let me use the word worship centers, media houses, hotels, restaurants, where they need to watch maybe football matches and stuff like that. You do from the P3.0 to the P4.81. Mind you, there are some people, there are some places like, there are some lounges we've installed P2.6 for. And the reason because, like I said earlier, when the closest person to the screen is about 5 meters, we do P2.6 down to P1. So it's not like it is tied to it. The major thing that I look out for is who is the first person, the closest person to the screen? What is the distance between the very first person and the screen? If I can get that, then I can recommend, like I said, from 0 to 5 meters, do from P2 downward. And then from 10 meters upward, you do from P2 upward. So that's that for about the pixel pitch. Another thing you need to look at, let's go back to the technical part now. The key specification for LED screen is the pixel pitch, the brightness, and the lifespan. For instance, the distance in millimeters between the center of one pixel and the center of the adjacent pixels is what we count as pixel pitch, like the dots on the board. The dots on it is what we count as the pixel pitch. So the size of that dot is the pixel pitch. You need to check. And the smaller the pixel pitch, the clearer the picture. Do we understand that? The clearer, the smaller the pixel pitch. For instance, P1 is clearer than P2. P2 is clearer than P3. P3 is clearer than P4. P4 is clearer than P5, and so on. So sometimes people look at and want to think that the higher the pixel, the clearer it should be. No, the lower the pixel, the clearer it should be. There is even the 0 point pixel. There are 0 point pixels as we speak right now. And technology has gone beyond LED. Like it's gone beyond light emitting. They are now COBs. They are COBs. Then it started as DIP before it now moved to the proper SMD. What we have now is SMD. They are COBs. So that's not what we're talking about. It's for things you should look out as a potential investor in the LED business. Number 1, pixel pitch. Number 2, brightness. Number 3, lifespan. For instance, LED screens can last up to 100,000 hours. And some last longer than that before they start giving issues. So most time it's not really about going to buy. Then we've heard people that say, why is this selling at this price and that is selling at that price? Mind you, there are lots of people, like the China we're talking about, it's an open market. China can give you anything at any price, as long as you can give them your specification. So you need to check the modules. The modules itself. Is this something that is durable? There are some modules you pick. If you rub your hand on the surface, one LED bulb might chip and follow your hand. Why some, no matter, even if you drop them, not them. So basically, understanding one, the pixel pitch that is required, what pixel pitch is, the brightness, and the lifespan. Then when you now understand that key specification, you now go to the structural component, which is the modules, the cabinet or frame, and then the control system. For the control system, personally, I have a control system that I love to use. But there are different control systems. We have the Nova Star, we have the Lensing, we have the Huidu, we have the color lights, and so on. They are unlimited, they are nameless. In fact, there are very many. But I have some that I love to work with. Someone else might love to work with another brand entirely, but me, I love to work with.
Please explain what control system is. Explain it and what it does. Thank you, sir.
Okay, the control system talks about the software that you use to tell your LED screen what it should do. That is the control system. For instance, like I said, we have the color lights. We have, what's it called? Nova Star. We have Lensing and all that. So when you have all those things, then you can now, for instance, decide what you want. Because know how they operate first, how they work. That is very, very important. Knowing how they work is very, very important. So that's a part of it also. But for me, like I said, I have specific softwares I love to work with. And that is because of simplicity, easy setup, especially for those of you that want to go into rental. If you want to go into rental business, there are some softwares I don't think you should even think about. For instance, if you are going for rental business, you want to get this as a rental business, then it is best you do Nova Star. Nova Star is quite easy to set up. Another thing about Nova Star is this. You can configure a Nova Star system now, and it will remain like that over the next 10 setups. As long as your setup did not change, as long as you did not change how you wire, how you route. Okay, let me use the word route because most of us here are sound engineers. But as long as you did not change how you route your cable, how you route your signal, your routing at the back of the screens, a Nova Star system can be likened to a digital console. For instance, your number one is the microphone. Let's say your number one is the kick, number two hi-hats, number three snare, number four tom one, number five tom two, number six floor tom. If you move your digital console to a different location and you run the connections the same, the only thing you now need to do is either adjust the volumes. Do you understand now? All you need to do is just adjust the volumes because of the environment you are now in. You don't have to start tracing, looking for which line is which line is what again. So that's how this systems works. If you configure a Nova Star from left to right today, 6 square meters, and your next setup is also 6 square meters, and you continue to configure from left to right, the things will remain the same. You don't have to, even if you move cabinet number 1 to number 3, move cabinet number 3 to number 4, it will not change anything. Unlike some other ones, like HD, which we call the Huidu, if you move cabinet number 1 to number 3, everything will scatter. But for Nova Star, cabinet number 1 can be at cabinet number 3. Cabinet number 3 can be at cabinet number 1. What Nova Star follows is your wiring. It configures your card. But on the other hand, we do color lights and some other, and listen, they configure your cabinet. So automatically, if you have a Linsen card, cabinet number 1 is RGB. Assuming cabinet number 1 is R, cabinet number 2 is G, cabinet number 3 is B. If you now decide to do BROG, your display has scattered. Unlike Nova Star, if you configure as RBG, you can do BRG, you can do GBRO. Display remains the same. So I always want to recommend Nova Stars for those of us who have the intention or the mind of, okay, I am going into rental business. You want to buy LED screen because you want to go into the rental business. Nova Star will work best for you. Nova Star will work best for you. Nova Star is your best bet for that. So understanding what you need, first of all, is one thing. Then knowing the software that guides your job, your screen, is another thing. That is another thing. So I'm going to try to share a video here with us. I just need you to watch the video and see how the setup is. Can you see it? This particular setup, you see this thing we just did now. If we dismantle it, if we dismantle this setup, and then we do this exact setup again, do this exact setup again in a different venue, we do not have to do any extra configuration. It will just be an automatic display for us. All we need to now do is probably adjust the brightness and maybe run an RCG all over again because some will be brighter than some. But if we move one thing from left and move it to the right, it will still work. This is Nova Star setup now. But you see the same setup. If you do the same setup and every cabinet is not where they used to be the last time, there will be problem. It's just like removing your hi-hat mic and putting it where the kick is and you expect it to work normal. It will not work like that. It will not work like that. As long as you follow the same process, it's fine. Then another thing you need to also check when you're getting into LED screen business is this. How many square meters do I need to start with? What is a square meter? Do you understand? What is a square meter? So by the time you ask yourself some of all these things, it will also guide you to know, say, okay, for instance, there are cabinets that comes at 500 by 500 mm. We call those ones short cabinets, square. It's like a cube. 500 by 500, which is the 500 by 500 cabinet, 500 mm. For a square meter, you need 4 of those cabinets to get 1 square meter. There's another one that is 500 by 1000 mm, which is the long cabinet. That one, you need only 2 cabinets to give you your 1 square meter. Another thing is, how many square meter do you take as 1 screen? Generally, 6 square meter is considered a screen size, which is 2 meters tall, 3 meters wide. Is considered the size of a screen, but it is not limited to that, depending on the events and your type of setup. For live feed, it used to be 2 by 3, but these days we've seen where we use 3 by 4, 12 square meter to do 1 screen. So the first question is, what do I need to get started with my LED screen business? Number 1 thing you need is getting your screen. Get at least 12 square meters. Get at least 12 square meters. And get at least 2 processors, 2 video processors. Why do you need to get 2 video processors? For instance, you have 12 square meters. 12 square meters gives you 2 units of 6 square meters. And you need to set up at 2 venues. So you should have 2 processors to run with your 12 square meters. After buying the first 12 square meters, if you still want to continue the business, because it's a business where you have to be patient. If it's a business you want to continue, the next thing you should do is get you another 12 square meters and 1 extra processor. So that means you now have 24 square meters and 3 processors.
Please explain the processor for us.
Okay. The processor is like a DVD player. You know, those days we have CD players. You have your TV, you have your DVD players, and then you have your CD, it's the DVD itself. You cannot insert your DVD into your TV. So you need to put your DVD player, your DVD inside the player, and then you now connect the player via HDMI or AV to your TV. So in this case, your TV is your screen. Your DVD is your processor. And your CD plate, your DVD plate is your laptop. So the way it works is your laptop communicates with the processor, and the processor communicates with the screen. That is how a processor works. It stands like a middleman between your laptop or your media source, your camera, whatever it is you are sending feed from, and your screen. You have a passive speaker. If you connect a passive speaker directly to a mixer, you will not get a sound. Just the same way if you connect your laptop directly to a screen, you will not get anything on it. So you need to connect your passive speaker to an amplifier. The amplifier will now send the signal to your passive speakers. That is also how it is. You send your signal from your laptop, your camera, your DVD player, whatever it is, to the processor. And then the processor sends that feed or that signal to the screen. So your processor stands as a middleman between your screen and your media device. So like I said, start with, when you get the first 12 square meter with 2 processors, that is to enable you to set up 2 locations. Get the second set of 12 square meter, let it come with 1 processor. With that, you can set up 3 locations. Probably 12 square meter to one place, 12 square meter to another place. That helps you set up 2 different locations. So moving forward, you also need to understand what you need for different types of setup. For instance, for this one, the video I showed us earlier, it was done on a scaffold. It was done on a scaffold. Why did we have to do a scaffold? Because there's no riser that can handle that. There are times you need to use trusses for your setup. There are times you need to use scaffold for your setup, and there are times you need to use just a riser platform for your setup. Just the same way if we are doing sound, if you are setting up a line array, some people do line array like point source, where they put two subs together and they put the array on top. Why some people will always want to fly it, depending on the area you're covering. For instance, if you are inside an auditorium that has a low roof, you cannot or may not be able to fly your arrays. But if you are at an open air outdoor event, of course, you can fly your arrays. So the same thing happens for LED screen. There are some areas you are working, for instance, if you are working indoor and you are setting up just maybe 3 by 4 meters, starting from the floor of the stage up, that one can stand on its own. All you need is your back support to lock it in, or probably use a scaffold at the back. But if you now have to set up outdoor, you must, depending on the size though, if you are setting up just 6 square meter, you can use either a stage riser, a stage platform, or you set up a truss goalpost. Some of all these things you necessarily do not have to own. There are people who already own them and they rent them out for other people to use. There are people that have these trusses already. All you need to do is rent it from them. There are people that have goalposts, the platform for stage. All you need to do is rent it from them. There are people that have scaffold. All you need to do is rent it from them. So it is not everything you need to work with that you necessarily have to buy. There are some you need to rent from people who already have them. Another thing is training. Some people rush into LED screen business because there is this impression that it's a gold mine without having zero technical skill. I'll give you a scenario. There is a certain job that I did. While I was on that job, I got a call to attend to something else. I left my team there. They handled the job squarely. They rounded off with it. We rounded off at about past 12 a.m. And we need to set up for the next day. Everybody said they were tired. But because I know how to do this thing by myself, all I needed to do was I picked 2 of my handymen and my driver that drove the screen. And we did the setup. I did the setup by myself. I did it by myself. So before investing, first of all, get the basic knowledge of how this thing works. Basic knowledge of how this thing works, of how LED screen works. Get the basic knowledge. I'm not asking for the expert level now. Basic knowledge in terms of how to assemble these cabinets, one, and how to make all of the scattered cabinets become one simple display. If you have that knowledge, then it's a good one. If you do not have it, I will advise that you try to have it. The other thing is different types of screen. There is the module type of screen, and there is the cabinet types of screen. The module type is fairly cheap. I will call that permanent installation. It's best for permanent installation, the type you just want to install for a client and leave it there. They do not intend to move it for any outdoor event or remove it from there anytime soon. That is called the permanent installation type. And there is a rental series, which is a cabinet. That's the cabinet. That cabinet ones are more expensive though. They are much more expensive. So, first of all, Are you buying for sale or are you buying for rental? That becomes the question. The smaller ones, I have some here, and there is a big one, which is the cabinet. The cabinet is the ones you see at event centers that they assemble. In 30 minutes, you can assemble 12 square meters within 30 minutes, and everything works fine. But you see that module type, you have to start from the frame. I think I have a video here of myself and my team assembling some. Let me see if I can share that with us here. So until you now know that, okay, this is that. When you are setting up LED screen, you must be patient, especially with the module type. You must be patient so you don't make mistake. Because one simple mistake can help you lose a job, can actually make you lose that job. Just one simple mistake will make you lose a job. And when you've lost that job, it will take God knows how long for you to be able to convince the client to give you a job like that back. Okay, I'm going to show you an example of what we did. Sorry, hold on. I'm trying to look for my share button. Okay, it's here. All right, I'm sharing this video with us. You see this job? When we did this job, it cost us a lot. It took a lot from us to achieve this. In this Benin, we did this job in Benin. What we did here, we brought in scaffolding that does not belong to us. We brought in trusses that did not belong to us to do this particular job. We brought everything in. Why did we bring them in? To enable us meet the demand of our customers. So if I was going to rely on what I already own, I won't be able to pull that job off. I have to rely on other people. So in media, there is need to interconnect with other people. There's need to interconnect with other people. There is another video here I'm going to share with us again. I want you to pay attention to this particular one. You see this video? We did everything here now is standing on a truss, where we used trusses as the pillars to make this screen stand on their own, especially the strips you are looking at. We had to use pillars to make it stand on its own. If not for the pillars, there's no way the screen, if not for those trusses, there's no way the pillars will stand. Then this one is an example of a fixed installation screen. This is a permanent installation screen that was done with the module. This is a permanent installation screen done with the module. Why this one? This is the next one. This one was done on a scaffold, A to Z. This was done on a scaffold. And the next one was done on both a scaffold and a pillar. Scaffold and pillar. This is a permanent installation for a church. So my point is this. Every time you have a job, first of all, think of what you need to get that job done. There is a plan. Draw a plan. I'm setting up 30 square meters. Is it going to be on a truss? Is it going to be on a stage platform? Is it going to be on a scaffold? Truth is this. Nobody will tell you the challenge you're going to face in their events until you get there. So what you do is prepare for the worst. Prepare like this event, anyhow it be, don't be. Prepare for it. As long as you have made up your mind to do that job, prepare for it. Because there are some unseen challenges, like unexpected challenges you are going to encounter. You will encounter them and you will solve it. You will encounter them, you will solve it. Another thing is this. Everybody is diving into LED screen. There is maintenance cost too. There is maintenance cost. Let me tell you that first. For instance, the screens that I have right now, one power pack. When you say power pack, okay. The LED screen
Sorry,
accepts.
sir. Sorry,
Yes,
sir.
ma'am.
Please, if you have questions, just be putting them on the chat so that you don't forget. If you have questions, just be putting them on the chat. Then when it is time to ask them, I'll begin to ask so that you don't forget the ones you want to ask him, because it's teaching us something that is very interesting and we might need to know more. Thank you, sir. You can continue, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. For instance, I was talking about the screens I'm using right now. One power pack is 95,000 naira. One power pack. And for the 500 by 500 cabinets, you have one power pack inside. But for the 500 by 1000 cabinets, you have two power packs inside. So you also need to make plan for what they call power management. When you are buying LED screen, power management is also important. What do you need to do your power management? You get AVRO, servo type AVRO. Get you a servo type AVRO. Once you have that, you are good. There is the 5 kVA, there is the 10 kVA, there is 15 kVA, there is a 20 kVA. Not regular relay AVRO. I'm talking of the servo, SERVO, servo AVRO. Those ones are more durable for heavy load. When you get the AVRO, also get yourself, if possible, a surge protection unit to also protect your AVRO. Because your AVRO costs hundreds of thousands. For instance, a 10 kVA Prague AVRO costs at least 390 to 450,000, depending on where you're buying from. Meanwhile, a surge protection switch costs about 30 to 45,000. So what we do is this: get a surge protection, get your AVRO, then get a distribution box. You also do not want joining of wires. Okay, I have my distribution box here. Let me just pick it up and show you what I use. All right, I'm here. This is the type of distribution box that I use. This one. This is the input. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 outputs. And this 6 output is 3 phase, which is the yellow phase, the green phase, and the red phase. For this, I can set up 24 square meter on this because each of them can carry 6 square meter conveniently. Each of them can also carry 12 square meter conveniently. It came with its own connector. So when you are getting your distribution box, this type, I recommend this type, except you can customize your own. Oh, I don't know if you can, but if you have access to factories, there are some that can be customized for you. You see this one now. This one, I also use it for sound when I'm working on sound. I connect this, I connect my power sequencer to this, and then from my power sequencer, I send output out to my other sound equipment. So you must understand, protecting your equipment is as important as buying the equipment. Protecting your equipment is as important as buying the equipment. If you keep buying and you're not protecting, you're going to be running at loss. For instance, we went for an event last week at an event center, very popular event center. We don't know what happened to their generator. There was over voltage. If we didn't have our surge protection circuits, believe me, I might not even have the mind to be online right now because I'll be thinking, where am I going to get money to change power packs for 65 square meters? Two power packs. So I won't be here. I promise. I won't be here.
Thank
Hey?
you, God.
If not for that surge protection gadget that I have, it was what saved my equipment. So let's assume I didn't have the surge protection equipment. I have my AVR. My AVR would have got burnt or maybe received the overvoltage, but will not pass it to my screen. So let's do the maths. AVRO cost about, let's say, 450,000. Power pack cost about 95,000, not about, it costs 95,000 to be precise. So we need 2 power packs. We're trying to do maths together here now. I need 2 power pack for 1 cabinet. So I need 4 power packs for 1 square meter. And we did a setup of 60 square meters. The math now is this: 95,000 naira. First of all, times 2 for 1 cabinet is 190,000. 190,000 times 2 for 1 square meter is 380,000. 380,000 times 6 is 2,280,000 for something that less than 500K would have solved for me. So assuming I didn't have this protection equipment, we would have been seeing fireworks behind the screen and special effects from the smoke. My screen would have been roasted. All power packs would have been dead by now. But who did not know that would think it's special effect? Now money don't burn, so over 2 million naira would have been gone like that. But it will look like fireworks and special effects. So please, when you are investing in LED screens, and by extension, we are audio engineers here, let's also try to protect our audio equipment. It's very, very important. Personally, I have an M32 that I use for my personal events. I am not a commercial kind of sound engineer. By God's grace, I'm a prophet by calling, so I do lots of outreaches. I stand on my console by myself to do my mix. So what I do is the same approach I use for my LED screens is the same approach I'm using for my sound equipment. I can conveniently tell you that over the past 4 to 5 years, I have not changed any high frequency or low frequency speaker. 1, I have not done anything that have to do with power repairs, like changing power pack, one amplifier got burnt because of one thing. No, I don't do any of that. Another thing is, you need to make sure that where you are setting up, for instance, when people set up and they set up in a very, very clustered environment, make sure your laptop can breathe. Make sure your processor can breathe. Ordinarily, the LED screen does not need fan to work, but your laptop has a fan or has a cooling system. It needs to be able to breathe. If not, your laptop can shut down at the middle of an event. And God help you. You're like some people when they chop money for events before events, you start looking for how to do a refund. Professionally, it is not an advice. This is my professional advice. If they pay you for an event, until you are done with that event, try have it somewhere. Just have it somewhere at one side. But bottom line is, the LED screen business is an interesting one if you know what you are doing. The next thing you need to do is software. What software do I need for my display? I have seen people that use Easy Worship for church to do concert display. And midway into the event, people start bringing files, flash drive. For instance, your vMix is there. Easy Worship is there. Because of the costs of vMix, people rather use Easy Worship because it's already installed on their laptop they use for church. So they take it for outdoor event or outside event. And then somebody brings an MP4 file for you to play on Easy Worship, and it cannot play. You start telling the client, sorry, your file is not playing. They'll play it on another laptop, or your same laptop with VLC, it will play. But on your Easy Worship, it will not play. You now have to mirror your laptop. Everybody will now be seeing your laptop. It's unprofessional. What you do is get a good player. Get a good broadcast software. Personally, I recommend vMix and Resolume. vMix, Resolume. I think that's what most churches use right now. I recommend vMix and Resolume. If you have a vMix, it can do most of the basic things. But let me surprise you. Everything I have shown you so far was done with vMix, not with Resolume, because Resolume is a proper mapping software, while vMix is not, as it were, a mapping software. Everything I have showed you. This job I want to show you now is something I've showed you before, but I need to explain some things to you here. Okay. You see this job you're looking at? It was done with vMix, not with Resolume. And when I eventually shared it with my guys, I was like, see, I did this with vMix. Say, nah lie. It was vMix. You must understand that every software has some hidden features when they're not going to tell you generally. Nobody will just sit you down and start telling you, vMix can do this, vMix can do that. Nobody will do that. Nobody will sit you down and start telling you. You have to learn. You have to expand your knowledge by yourself. Look for the limitations, where you say that software reach, and look for it. Once you are able to now do that, then you understand that, okay, you are growing. This other job, let me show you this one. I don't know if it's going to display correctly from your end because it was shot in portrait format. It was shot in portrait format. Okay, I believe you can see this here. Okay, this works. You see this setup? It was done with both a stage riser. It was done with both a stage riser and trusses, complete stage. That was what we used to achieve this setup. And when I tell people I did not use Resolume for this job, some people do not believe. And we've done this type of setup over and over and over and over again. My point is, when you buy LED screen, it is one thing to have LED screen. It's another thing to be creative. Your brain must need. You must be able to interpret your client's vision, bring it to life. How does that happen? It's a secret. If you cannot interpret your client's dream as an LED technician, the clients will definitely look for another person that can interpret it. And when they find that person, they will leave you. It's as simple as that. And when they leave you, they are not coming back. Once they leave you, Otilo, they are not coming back. As much as possible to retain your clients. Try as much as possible to keep your client. If not, once they leave, they don't get to come back. They don't get to come back. This is I'm trying to show you something. This is a DJ booth. So your LED screen is not limited to live feed and stage. This is a DJ booth that we did. This is a DJ booth that we did with LED screen. So as you are buying, know that the church alone is not your customer. The mosque alone is not your customer. Event planners alone are not your customer. It's DJs are your customers. Club owners are your customers. Do you understand? So all these things are part of what makes the LED business what it is. Your creativity has a role to play. Your creativity has a very, very big role to play. So if you are not creative, you can run into the LED screen business. The same way you run enter, and so you go run come out, because everybody go run leave you. You rush into it without proper knowledge, you will definitely rush out without proper knowledge. And by the time you rush out, everybody go leave you for dead. Nobody wants to stay. Nobody will stay, in fact, because people are looking for where creativity works. I'm going to share with us a video of how the module type is installed. I talked about the module installation. Let me see if I have something about the installation here on my laptop so that I can share with you. Your creativity is what brings people or makes people stay with you, not necessarily about who you know. Connection can bring jobs, yes, but are you creative with the job? Are you creative with that job? When you are not creative, people just overlook you one way or the other and they will leave you. They will just walk away from you easily. So I'm sharing this video now with you for you to see how the setup is done. Setup for module. This is module type installation here. Okay, the video was too fast. Okay, now this one on the ground is the frame. Module type installation, one of the technicality. If you miss this framework, you have successfully missed the entire installation. You see this frame on the wall. If you succeed in missing this framework, you have missed the entire installation. Why? When you have a frame that is not properly done, your module will start having crack lines in between. If you've seen some screen that have crack lines, know that there was a problem with the frame. It is not the screen that is bad. It is the frame. And when the frame is bad, it shows in the overall installation. This is one job that showed me shege. This particular installation, I don't know if you can still see it. It was one installation that made me understand that you have to be deliberate in delivering perfect jobs, either at rental or at sales. This is a module screen. If you can see, there are some areas there that the modules were actually off because we're still working there. So understand this thing. You have to be creative. If not, you lose customers. There is a general market for everybody. I'm done with that screen sharing. Let me tell you another thing. There is a general market. Inside that general market is your own market. I told myself some time ago, I said, God, help me to be among the people that works for the 1% of the 1%. I don't get LED screen jobs every day. But when it's time to deliver on some level of work, they know who to call. I can boldly tell you that the people that trained under us, like the people that we had as apprentices at the time, are better than some professionals in some other places. Because we're deliberate. See, some of all these things, you have to be deliberately creative. You can't be creative by accident. You have to be deliberate in being creative. Because your creativity is what people will rely on. That job that no other person can deliver, that you alone can deliver, becomes your unique selling proposition. If you are doing the same thing the way every other person is doing it, then there is nothing unique about you. But if you can bring your creativity into this LED business, for instance, some of us are sound engineers, but we have graphics knowledge. Some of us are sound engineers, we have video editing knowledge. Some of us are sound engineers. Some of us are video editors. We have sound knowledge. It's the extra knowledge that you have that you bring into your primary job becomes a unique selling proposition for you. Is there any questions I need to attend to right now?
Okay, that was really a long lecture. Please, do you have any questions for him before we begin to round it up and call it a day? Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
do you have any questions for him? Because he has really spoken about the modules, the frames, the password, what the password power, that's something ROI or something.
AVR.
AVR, yes, AVR. You have spoken about the P1, the P2. The lower they are, as in P1 is clearer than P2. P2 is clearer than P3. There's P3.0. So he told us the ones that we can use, the one we see for outdoor, that we see the billboards. He spoke about the P5 and the P6. If it's indoor, the churches, we use the P3 and the P4. You see, I know it. If you're using for, yeah, I learned it here because this knowledge is not going to be lost. As in, I've have it and I'm owning it. Though I've been interested in the sound and the visual thing, but I said, okay, let me just tag some people along. It shouldn't just be all about me. Let me see who is also interested, because I've seen a lot of sound engineers who are also investing in the business. Somebody asked me, he said, okay, Debby, if I want to invest in this business, I said, see, I'm as naive as you are, but the only thing I know I can do is that I can only bring somebody that can assist us collectively in this knowledge. And you popped up. And Mr. Charles popped up. That is the only one I can call, because I know how you have worked for other organizations as the technical head. And I know you are the only one that can also help us. I remember when I wanted to buy some LED screens, and I know that you are into your own LED screen called Rubicon. I know you've not mentioned anything about it. So Rubicon, okay, let's talk about a little about Rubicon, because you cannot give us this knowledge and we are not also knowing about your own company. As in, that is the token we can give you, because I did not pay him. Oh. I didn't pay him. Oh. I'm just using my friendship card to bring him in. He has his own screens too. Because how can somebody be this vast and not be able to couple his own kind of screen and begin to sell them? That means that is not a knowledge put into good use. So he has his own screen in Nigeria called Rubicon. Because I know I've consulted with several.
LED.
So tell us about Rubicon. Sorry.
Okay.
Rubicon.
Rubicon LED, like I said, was born out of passion.
Yes.
Because there is this mass production market. And when you buy from this mass production market, you end up sometimes with problems. I started with the mass production market, not necessarily because I wanted the mass production market, but because it is what was available. And remember, when they mass produce, from what they mass produce and send to the UK, it's what they will send to Asia. It's what they will send to Africa. It's what they will send to other countries apart from America. So it got me thinking, why does America have such strict regulation? Their regulation is so strict. You can't just produce garbage and send to the US. So when I was going to do a certain job, the client told me, I beg, I don't want all those ones where they spoil. Because we've seen LED screens that were installed, and within 2 years, they started having color patches everywhere. So I now had to contact China. Got my partners. I was like, what's happening? Can't we have something that will stand the test of time? They say, yes, why not? You can. That was when they now exposed the fact that the PCB and the bulb, the best bulb I have used, I don't know about today or about the next person, is Nation Star. So I use Nation Star bulbs for my production. And my PCB, it's a general market PCB, but I have to customize. So Rubicon LED can sell for you For instance, if the general market is selling LED screen at 1.50 kobo per square meter, Rubicon will not sell at 1.50 kobo. We could sell at 1.80 kobo because we know what we are giving you. We know what we are producing. We know the extra effort we put into production. So it is not a general market thing. The frames and the cabinets might look the same, but the PCB at the front, the screen at that front is what makes the difference. It cannot be the same because I have bought garbage and installed garbage before. There is one that we installed in Agbo. I started having sleepless nights about that screen. After 6 months, we started seeing red colored dots on the screen. Just after 6 months of installation, we started seeing red colored dots. So I called China. You know the funniest thing? The people you are, as it were, selling to, if you go into sales, they don't know China. It is you that they know. So when there is problem, they'll come knocking on your door. They will come knocking on your door. So to save yourself that stress, look for someone that has a quality benchmark. And that was when I said, okay, you know what? Instead of me looking for someone that has a quality benchmark and produce this, why don't I get a space inside one of those factories in China and start doing my own production? It was not easy, but of course, we did it. So we don't do general market LED screens at Rubicon. We do custom made. We try to make sure that everything is handpicked. You know this advert they do for orange juice? They say we carefully pick the oranges by ourselves. No, we don't wait for we don't sour. So that is how we do our do here. And that is Rubicon LED. As of today, by God's grace, I won't say we've grown. We are still a growing company. We are still a growing company. And I believe that very soon we'll be out there. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me now? There are some
Yes,
questions here. Please, can you come again on softwares that will give a huge assistance on the LED setup and management?
Me, as Charles, I use
Nova
NovaStar as my control configuration software, and I use vMix as my operation software.
NovaStar, vMix. Okay.
Yes.
They just want to mention the other ones. Because you know some people, they love complex things. Like I remember when we were still using Cubase. Some people are going for logic.
Go for Resolum Arena. If you want to do complex, go for Resolum.
Why?
If you want to do complex, Resolum gives you different outputs that you can't get from vMix.
Okay.
Except you have dog vMix to the point that you are almost seeing the code they used to code it.
Where did they go? Okay, another question. Can you share more about the prices of LED screens for rental purposes or different square meters, including logistics for different locations? Thank you.
Okay. For instance, for my local area here, where I've become a local champion.
He resides in Edo State too, and he operates from there.
I used to be in Lagos, actually. That was where we met.
Yes, I remember. Yeah. Yes.
I used to be in Lagos. I used to stay at the Ikeja Axis of Lagos.
Yeah.
To be precise, Community Road, Ogundana Estates.
And do you know what funny thing is that the place you people reside, that's where our company used to be, Core Media.
Now?
No, then, before you guys moved in.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's continue. Let's continue.
So bottom line is this. For Benin here, we rent per square meter at about 35,000, 30,000. But I can guarantee you that nobody pays, or people really do not pay per square meter here. They just tell you, I need one screen. When they tell you, I need one screen, they are telling you, I need 6 square meter screen.
Okay.
So you will now by yourself know how much is your 6 square meter. And in Lagos, we rent per square meter. In Asaba, it is per square meter. In Warri, it is even worse. They tell you panel. They tell you per panel. They tell you panel. They don't tell you square meter. They tell you how many panels you define. So you now tell them long panel or short panel. You say short panel. Okay. Short panel. Now 4. You already know 4 is 1 square meter. So where you are setting up 6 square meter, where you will use 12 panels in Warri language now for 6 square meter, in the short panels, you use 24. So rental per square meter is between 30 to 40,000, depending on your location. For Lagos, they charge logistics separately, but for Benin here, they don't charge logistics separately, except you are going out of Benin City. It is when you're going out of Benin City, you're not charged for logistics. So I think that answers that.
Okay. Somebody asked, you said, is there any specific tutorial on vMix projecting video?
Go to YouTube and search for vMix for dummies.
Okay.
That's not to say you are a dummy. It's just how the video was made.
Yeah, it's just something like that will go that we simplify it as in like a baby step.
Yes, what you might find there would be old version of vMix, but nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed in the vMix is the broadcast back, where you have to now enter some of that. But in terms of facial operation, nothing has changed. Yeah, vMix for dummies is on YouTube. Different versions, by the way. Next one.
For now, there's no question. So is there any question before we call it a day? Because we've had him for so long and we're enjoying him. Any other question? Rubicon. I think you have not even told, you have not said much about it. He has screens. Okay, there's a question. Okay, where's it? Okay. Please, can we have video of this? Yeah, he's on YouTube. On training too. Somebody is asking, he wants to be trained. How can he be trained?
You can be trained, but the question now is, I am in Benin. If DXSD MEDIA can organize a training for people in a certain region, of course, I can make myself available for that training.
Okay.
But if you want a one-on-one training, it's either you have to teleport yourself to Benin.
Yeah.
Or I come to Lagos, but if it has to be for you alone, then it's not worth it.
It's not, yeah, I get it. Because I know you. Okay, readily, we have some screens on ground in it.
Yes.
Do we have some screens on ground?
As of today, we have over 500 square meters of the cabinet screen. And over
do you have a picture of your warehouse to just show us?
That would be in my phone. That would be in my phone. Okay. But we have a warehouse in Lagos. It's around cement.
Okay. That's a better going to from Ikeja.
They are going to from Ikeja.
As in en routing through Ikeja to Obakran. You get that. Okay. That means you have a steady place. You have a steady place to
in Lagos.
Yes, for consultancy. We also have a group. Yeah, we also have a group, a WhatsApp group. In case you have more questions and you need his contact, we also have a group. We're going to put up the phone number now. This is the WhatsApp number for inquiries, and also a WhatsApp group. You can join. Just send me a WhatsApp message. This is just for WhatsApp only. Somebody's going to attend to you. Even if I'm not the one attending to you, just send your message. We'll put you in the group so that you have a link to Mr. Charles. He can install. He has vast knowledge when it comes to installation and also consultancy. If you're still having some issue with consultancy, because you cannot get all these things done without a consultant. You cannot just approach China. China is ready to,
they'll give you garbage. They are willing to give you garbage.
They are willing to give you damage. That is it. Without a consultant, they are willing to give you damage, and you can't catch them. Shebi somebody wey they see you go fit catch. So they are willing, but you need Nigerians. Even if you need an intermediary, somebody, consult Mr. Charles for that, because most of these, he has worked with LEDs, Excel LED, which I know. That was where we met, when he worked with Excel LED. So he is now on his own too, practicing on his own.
I started with Focono.
Focono, then with who again?
We did Excel.
Excel.
And then I was a technical consultant for some other companies that are not Nigerian based too.
You can also see, so he has vast knowledge. He has worked with some, as in those top LED companies that you want to think about. So he's a good consultant to consult when it comes to things like this. So you can have access to him. Just WhatsApp me on this number. If you don't remember this number, go back to our YouTube page, or the Facebook expires within a month, so you don't count on it. There's a YouTube, which we're also broadcasting on our YouTube page. In case you need to go back and watch this video, you need to go back. In case you need to know things about what you have learned here as a sound engineer, go back to my page, my YouTube page, for you to rewatch it, so that you can easily digest all what he has said. Then this can just be a little guide for you in the LED screen world. Mr. Charles, I can't thank you enough. That's my own language. I can't thank you enough, because the thanks cannot. As in, even if I carry a bucket of it, I think I'll need a tank of it. So I appreciate your time with us, and we all appreciate. Please, his audio clap. Please give me his audio clap. We have our audio clap here. His audio clap. Let's send audio claps to him. Audio claps. Yeah. Please, just do your audio claps as an appreciation, because so we thank you for your time, for the knowledge. Now I know P1, P2 up to P6. So I know where we can use P1, P2 up to P6. So I know about the vMix, I know about the surge protector, I know about the processor. As in, this is a crash knowledge, and it is impactful. For you to have said it and it is impactful, you're a good teacher. So I really appreciate that ability to be able to disseminate information and being able to let it stick within. So we thank you a lot. So Mr. Charles, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for coming
I'd like to make us understand this.
Okay.
Even as sound engineers, we need that surge protections for our equipment too.
Yes, we do.
Not just for LEDs. As long as it's an electronics and it's a commercial or public place or public power, you need those things for your equipment, just to be on the safe side. Because I know the cost of amplifiers these days. I buy two.
Yeah.
So aside being a technician, I'm a sound person too, though I don't call myself a sound.
He patronizes me. He's one of my top clients too. He buys things from me a lot. As in, for you to know that he's also a sound engineer. He said he has M32. And the way he's protecting his LED screens, he's also protecting his equipment. That he has never even repaired any of his equipment, because he protects them. So I think it should be an habit. It should be our habit. If you know that we have invested so much into it, there is nothing too much to protect it. Like what he said, that how he avoided million naira protection, because he had 500,000 naira power surge, which he used to prevent it. So it might look 500,000 naira, but look at what he saved with the 500,000 naira.
It's actually the 40,000 watts that got burned safe. The 40,000 surge protection that got burned, not even the 500,000 AVR.
AVR. So
different layers of protection.
So let's protect our gears. It might look so expensive to protect it, but what are you protecting? So what is the ratio to what you are protecting? You need to look into that, so that you can get your gears to use again for another event. It's not like you already have back-to-back events and they're asking, why are you not in the other event? You say it got burnt, and you are now borrowing from another person that is going to rent. You know how much it is for that person to rent it out to you, than what you could have prevented. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the opportunity. Grateful. And thank you for the knowledge. So
grateful.
We're grateful. Gracias. Okay.
Thank you.
Back to Debby now. Thank you so much for your time. The people that waited and waited and waited, people that came in on time. Thank you to you too. We can't appreciate you enough. I'm going to use this opportunity to talk about a little opportunity. Please grant me your little time to talk about the CVR sound exhibition and training that is coming up. If you remembered some episode backward, we interviewed CVR Sound and they told us about their speakers and somebody asked some questions about it. Now the CVR Sound, they're having their exhibition in Nigeria, in Lagos precisely. It would be wrong for me not to have spoken about them. I'm also one of the organizers. I will not stand with what is not original or what is not authentic. CVR Sound is very authentic. Many organizations, many event centers, many individuals, top individuals, celebrity individuals have them that they are presently using. So I will recommend CVR Sound. It's not because of I will recommend what I know that it is right. Anything that you see that I'm talking about that I say I recommend, you should know that I am highly recommending it. CVR Sound. So they are having their exhibition at the zone that is at Bagada. Is along the expressway. If you know Charlie Boy, it's just adjacent Charlie Boy. Once you climb the pedestrian UPS bus stop, they are there just on the road. So they are having their training and they're also having their exhibition. They are training, their exhibition. If you also need to join a group, because there's a WhatsApp group for your registration, you can also contact me with that phone number that we just took out, so that will put you in a group and we can register you for the training. There's exhibitions. They're going to give discounts. They are going to give discounts at this exhibition, and also you can also make part payment for anything that you see on that discount. So it's like you're sealing it that even if you go back on your discount, I have sealed it with an amount of money. So churches come to the venue, events, event centers, event center owners, you are invited. If you need your pastor to come and you want me to send a letter, just beep me on this number. I can send a letter to your pastor to authorize you coming, or you need a letter for somebody, I can always arrange it. It is next week Tuesday, so we want you to be around at this event. It's surely going to be a mind-blowing session because they have their expatriates from outside the country who are going to be around at this CVR Sound exhibition and training. Even if you want to come from other states, you are allowed to come because it is something you need to also witness and see the speakers they have in stock. And why are they CVR? Why are they loud? Why are people patronizing them? So it's an event that I want everyone to attend. Thank you very much. Let's call it a day. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. DXSD says thank you. This Debby say thank you. Debby Media say thank you. Mark Shalom say thanks too. Soundcheck with Debby say thanks. Bye bye. Thank you for your time.